So, three things that I learned yesterday from studying a 2 hour long podcast with Steve Jobs and how he was able to build Apple to be one of the most impactful companies on the face of planet Earth. These are the three things that I learned from him specifically that I want to apply to my own life, my own business, and how I approach, the craft that I am dedicated to. So the first things first is studying the best people in the world when it comes to the impact they've had on humanity. So for me, just hearing how much of an inspiration he took from Edwin Land, the CEO of Polaroid, the inspirations he took from Andy, the CEO of Intel, and how he learned from Thomas Edison and how he had a deep reverence and respect for those gentlemen and how their ideas were the ones that actually shaped Apple as a company, to me was extremely powerful and extremely impactful. So that to me made a lot of sense, because what I end up feeling like is the case for most, young men and entrepreneurs my age is that the online space is a very loud and noisy, place. And the problem is when you get all of your information from the same sources as everybody else, the quality of your inputs dictates the quality of your outputs. So if every single piece of content is being consumed by every other competitor that you have or other individuals at your age, you unfortunately are going to look, sound, walk, talk, and speak like everybody else that's in your marketplace. So for me, just as of recently, I've, have learned one of the best lessons, and this is from, Tony Robbins, success leaves clues, and that you want to learn from the best in the world. And so for me, just I have a passion for wanting to become an encyclopedia of knowledge of, the most impactful and the most life-changing people that ever existed. So that's the first thing. The second thing is the level of rigor that Steve Jobs imposed on himself before imposing on to anybody else. Steve Jobs was a big proponent for being a quality yardstick, meaning that your level of dedication and the way that you show up can only be imposed onto other people if you withhold that standard yourself. So for me, most often than not, we do not lack a sense of talent. You don't lack a sense of effort, right? And you just have to be able to withhold the standards that you dictate for yourself in your own life. And so for me, that's been a big key takeaway that, I'm wanting to deploy, because obviously other great people across any vertical in life, any craft, any pursuit of mastery, people have had the same thing. Because, for example, Kobe, he specifically talked about how there would be nobody that could hold people up to the standard that he would hold himself to. Because the reporter that asked him in an interview was like, what do you do when there's a lot of pressure and the fans are, expecting a lot from you? And Kobe replied, they will never, 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 never be another person that can hold Kobe to the same standard that he holds himself to. So that was a big lesson for me, that more often than not, it's the simplicity aspects that you impose onto yourself. The third most important thing that I've learned from Steve Jobs is that in order to be creative, you need to experience the unexperienced. Creativity comes from connecting the dots between unrelated experiences and collating them back to the same domain. And Miyamoto Musashi, the samurai of, the old ages, actually has that principle where you want to be an artisan at many different verticals in life, because the multiple different verticals apply back to the one that you're trying to master. So having different hobbies, having different crafts, booking that road trip, booking that, trip, going out of your comfort zone, doing things that put you into a different state of mind will allow you to have that sense of creativity that's required to be different. And differentiation is the key to survival. That's the last thing that Jeff Bezos left in his shareholder notes. So in order to stand out in a very crowded space, a very crowded industry, you need to be able to force yourself into different experiences that 99% of people have never gone through. So you're going to get a lot more value from that. So that's, for me recently, I've been trying to push myself to be in a more creative, loose, flowy state, kind of how, Conor McGregor talks about it, where, before he fought Jose Aljo, his biggest thing was just seeing how tight, tense he was. And I can relate to that side of, business a lot, where everything is so serious. You have to like push. And I'm trying to see how I can design my life and attract in a certain type of way and emanate a certain frequency that what I believe is inevitable. So those three things applied to my life is just changing what I study. So I highly implore you to go and research some of the greats in the world. Why listen to freaking an internet guru when you can listen to Jeff Bezos, Elon Musk, Thomas Edison, and some of the Tom Ford, all of these biggest, Henry Ford, all of the biggest people that were literally changed how we operated, changed how the world worked. Why not go learn from those guys? That's first and foremost. Second thing is to raise your standard, and not only just raise your standard, but set what fucking standard you want in your own life, right? What are your non-negotiables? What is the standard that you want to impose onto other people? You first have to impose that onto yourself. So first get clear on what it is that you want to have your standards be, whether that's in your relationship life, whether that's in your personal life, whether that's in your business life, every single aspect, your fitness and your spiritual life, set the standard for yourself, hold yourself to it. The more you can hold yourself to it, the better. The number 3, just being able to have creative experiences and trust in the fact that you'll be able to have creativity. And that's the missing link for you to get outside of your comfort zone, outside of your box. Because if you stay doing the same things every single day, you're going to get very similar results. But if you want something that is so drastic and so different that you've never had before, you have to do something that you were never willing to do in the first place.